Hello, my audience. I'm reviewing Spider-Man 2002 movie game for the PlayStation 2 console, release done. I give it a 10 out of 10. I enjoyed this linear, the linear levels, even though it was an open world story, like the sequel games. And more modern Spider-Man games have gotten better at making Spider-Man into an open world. Um, I enjoy going into the buildings still on linear levels. Yeah, it's kind of cool how, like, those the Insomniac Spider-Man games kind of incorporate, like, linear levels, like, with going in buildings. At least with the Spider-Man, more so with the sequel, Spider-Man 2, than Spider-Man 1 or Miles game. So you really do see where, Insomniac kind of took inspiration from both generations of Spider-Man games, the linear platform and open world game. That the amazing sequel, Spider-Man 2, the video game, kind of marketed its own thing for being different than any other Spider-Man game at the time, because it was the only Spider-Man game for its time that I was aware on that had open world Spider-Man in like a open world playable world. Now I played the Spider-Man game on the Nintendo 64, and I don't think I played the sequel game that was part of the 64 game. I don't think I got around. I don't. Anyway, but I'm not saying I played every Spider-Man game. But for example, I haven't played the Atari Spider-Man game, but I'm aware of it. So I'm not saying I played every Spider-Man game, but I played a handful of good amount of most of the Spider-Man games that were old and new, from multiple different generations, and this is one of the better Spider-Man games, I thought, the 2002 Spider-Man game. And what I liked about this is actually the better performance than what Maguire gave in his own outing in the live-action movie as Peter and as Spider-Man. He gives a more comic book accurate Peter Parker, more comic book accurate, jokey Spider-Man that's heroic than what he was forced to play as whiny Maguire dialed to 11, with Maguire being Maguire. Like you know how the guy in Pleasantville was kind of whiny character because he didn't want to share a remote with his sister, and led to him being sucked into TV. He plays that kind of whiny douchebag when he plays Spider-Man and Peter in the same movie from 2002. But in 2002, Spider-Man may be an adaptation of the story. Also, Loose Balls take some inspiration with some bringing new characters like Scorpion and Electro, and also Green Goblin eventually you get to face, and you get to face Shocker. Early in the game before facing your final villain like Green Goblin, which is the only villain of the movie. So basically this is a more imaginative comic book action-packed game than what the movie was providing for a blockbuster for comic book geek fans of Spider-Man. Ones who really love the comics and the cartoons, and we're kind of a bit let down with the lack of spectacle that the Spider-Man movie went kind of dialed back with the comic book spectacle, and look on Green Goblin, making it look more real world and less spectacle, comic book accurate. Just the Green Goblin costume, and it looks more like armor than instead of like a guy in a costume wearing a costume. The Green Goblin costume, it's this? It's not a costume, it's armor. It's like so unimaginative, and this game actually takes so many great decisions with the source material and how the villains look. I was disappointed when it was the same movie design of the Green Goblin instead of more comic book accurate look of the Green Goblin with out the armor more like a Green Goblin look like you see in 616 comics, dressed like, with the purple and green suit. Is the Green Goblin mask wearing. And, it's like, and he's one of the more expressive villains in the comics. In the movie and in the game, he can't express himself because he's wearing that mask that limits and covers his entire face, except his eyes. Sometimes it shows his eyes, but that would be cool if we could always see his eyes. But sometimes most times his eyes covered with plastic and his whole face covered. It just doesn't feel like Green Goblin. Not only he doesn't look like Green Goblin from the comics, he's not expressive like Green Goblin from the comics because of the stupid mask that covers his whole face. And Green Goblin in the comics is supposed to be one of those more expressive villains with the mask he wears. It's supposed to allow him, it's like the best Green Goblin we ever got portrayal for is, I honestly believe, is the one from the Spectacular Spider-Man series that was short-lived. Only ran for 2 seasons, got canceled, and that's when we still haven't got something close to that Green Goblin in live action with that Green Goblin portrayal. In terms of looking and acting like Green Goblin, and it was like classic Green Goblin from the 616 comics, So yeah, which is kind of a shame that this movie doesn't go for a more comic book accurate look for Green Goblin instead of because it goes for a more comic book accurate look with the villains from the world. Like it looks like villains came out from the comic book panels, and Spider-Man acts like he came out of the comic book panels from 616 era. As in, he jokes and he's heroic at the same heroic and jokey as Spider-Man, but also quiet and awkward as Peter and Nerdy comes across. And both Persona as well. In the first game out, I thought it was awesome. His portrayal of the game was much better than anything that he showed in the movie for Spider-Man and for Persona. And it's a little, the game's short, I admit. Might have been a little short, for now, the game can be a little short. I hear people said the game was short. I mean, granted, that might be so, but it has good replay value. Can't deny that, I gotta admit. Might be a short game, but it's like, so is Star Wars The Force Unleashed, but I love that game. Even though it's a short game, it's just a fun game. It's a popcorn game, is what this game is. Like the Star Wars Force 2 Unleashed. There are 2 endings, a good ending and a bad ending. What's the main protagonist? But I'm not going to talk about the game now in this video. I'm telling you that for a different video. Anyway, I'm 29 years old. This is my birthday today. Happy birthday to me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy birthday to me. And, I just turned 29 today. Yay. And I've been, talking about Spider-Man 2002 PlayStation 2 game. And I give this a 10 out of 10 for voice acting and performances and reimagining the characters and how it plays out like an action-packed comic book. Spider-Man's classic story with all over the place with the action and bringing having new villains and come and go and having Spider-Man defeat them. the final battle was a little like what's the word? With Green Goblin at the end, we finally fight Green Goblin. The final battle, I gotta admit, it was a little non-spectacle compared to the fight in the movie. Was the final battle between Peter and the Green Goblin. Honestly, I think I would be more happier if they just did a cutscene, in having being an epic battle, was just being a cutscene, and they could just make because you know there was no reason for that battle to be that short, and also to be fully in control of Peter, and also when you upgrade Peter and with his powers and stuff, it gets easier to beat the battle. And you can upgrade it better if you play the game multiple times, you know? Like, because this is a short game. There's like 3 difficulties or 4 difficulties. This was back when you had more options to go on a harder setting. If you beat the hardest difficulty setting, you could get to go on a higher, even difficulty setting, which was Spider-Man. Personally, I never like to go on no more difficult than easy when I play video games, at least when I first beat them. But if I play them multiple times, then I'll try go for a difficult normal setting, try at first, and I might want to work up to a higher setting. But that depends on how much replay the game offers for me. And there is replay value, but it's not as much replay value as I would like to be versus the Spider-Man 2 game or Spider-Man 3 game on the PlayStation 2. Both are. The whole trilogy is on the PlayStation 2. From Maguire's era Spider-Man installments. And I'll talk about those ones some other time. And that's why, despite its flaws, I still love this game. Give it a 10 out of 10. It's better than any of the Spider-Man movies with Maguire still, and I gave those a 10 out of 10, all of them. So I'm giving this a 10 out of 10, because I can live with myself better. That's why I give the Spider-Man game a better movie, overall story, epic story, comic books action, better than the movie, 2002 Spider-Man movie. Is the game better than the movie? Yet the answer is yes. With the exception of the final battle between Goblin and Peter being a short, brief, but awesome, cool, I guess. And not that Green Ball puts that much of a fight. This is the downside. If you know the controls, you can get your hand up the controls, you know? But again, this video game was rated E for everyone instead of the sequels, which were rated T for teenagers. The sequels were rated teen for teenagers, and the first one was rated E for everyone, so it was bound to be easier than the sequels. Or other Spider-Man games, because it is a game meant for kids, children, basically. It's marketed to. The E game is rated as. But it's strange because the movie's rated PG-13, so it's like confuses yourself when you think about it. Because E means for everyone. Ages. And yeah. So I still give this game a 10 out of 10. Spider-Man 2002 on the PlayStation 2 game of Spider-Man 2002, the movie game from 2002 on the PlayStation 2. I give it a 10 out of 10. I approve this game. That's why I give it a 10 out of 10. Like this video, hit the thumbs up, and subscribe to my content. Goodbye. My name is Jake Allen Graham. Hope you enjoyed this content, my audience, and that's the name of my channel. Jake Allen Graham. Bye.